So I think you always had that mindset. It could probably be that you were in that environment. Your father was a diplomat. He was into this a field of policy making and a lot more. Was this the only reason that you developed interest in this side of in this field, or were there any other elements while you were growing up that you really got interested in the field that you're in right now?
I think definitely so. My father's career in itself, I think, is quite impressive, and that it's been a lesson for me that you can do a lot of change in the world. So he's a diplomat for Pakistan, got to move around the world, and he's still serving in Pakistan now. So get to learn from him every day. I get to use him as a sounding board. So I think I definitely have that advantage there. But otherwise, I think it was just during year 11, year 12, when I really realized here that I could be doing something in the social debate and social discourse and just general policy making, and that if I start an initiative, take a lead on something, I can really make an impact. So I think that realization came from just watching a documentary on TV. It was an ABC documentary on the Afghan cameleers, Muslim camel drivers that traversed outback Australia in the 19th and 20th centuries, and people just forgot about them. That migrant legacy was there. These people were there for 60 years, and that, yeah, come the railway, come the car, they really just were forgotten about. So watching that documentary, I'm like, okay, this is a forgotten history. This is something that I can tackle. This can be my first project, and that I can just start interviewing people, reach out. Hopefully people respond favorably. I'm just a young boy, 16, 17 years of age, and hopefully people run with it, people reciprocate, and yeah, I get to interview cool people. And I think from there, one step led to another, and that I got more opportunities to engage, got a bit of funding from the
Interesting,
government,
because
got recognized, and yeah.
yeah, I think that's a very essential and a very I would like to applaud, I think, Australia for that in that respect, because they do encourage ideas, they do encourage people who can actually bring forth some sort of positive change. As you mentioned about the fundings, the grant, and being able to kind of give you that recognition that is required for the voice that you have, for what you stand. I want to kind of know over here, like you mentioned, you were 16, 17, and you started, something clicked with you, and you took the action right away. You started kind of, taking the steps. How did the, the journey uh, of you came about to be where you are right now? Did you foresee any sort of role that you're playing right now at that point in time, or you just went with the flow? Because for a lot of the youth who's listening to us, or even people who are maybe starting the second innings, sometimes the line is so blurred. You have so many options available that you really don't know where to go forward. So if that is a situation that someone is in, and probably if you had a clear idea, how you would probably guide or maybe help them see through that situation with your
Um,
journey.
I think it's a really fine line between dreaming and just not being able to predict what your future sort of next steps is. If you ask me how I would, looking back in hindsight, look at my growth, it would just be, yeah, I cannot predict more than a year ahead that this is what I'll be doing. These are the opportunities that will become, that I'll be on Ishani's podcast, even that, yeah, there's definitely nothing I can really forecast there. But in terms of just being able to dream, being able to achieve, starting a podcast at 16, 17, working to highlight some bit of migrant legacy, that led one opportunity to another. So just having those outlandish dreams, having those outlandish stuff, and just taking the first step. And that a lot of people are scared. At times, I'm even scared of doing things because I'm like, oh, how will it be received, or how will people take it, and will I get funding? What will happen? I think those things will come with time, but it's just about taking the first step, selling it to the first person that you'd like to engage with, and then I think from there you build a sense of credibility, you build trust. People see that you're authentic, that you're genuine, and that you can really do stuff. And from there, I think people take you a lot more seriously. And that a 16, 17-year-old me was going out, traveling out to remote outback towns, interviewing mayors, MPs, doing a whole bunch of stuff that I wouldn't even imagine myself doing at that time. And the funny thing there was that I couldn't even rent a hotel room. I wasn't 18, so I had to
Oh.
call all the hotels around town and say, "Oh, I'm here doing a podcast, doing a documentary." But can I rent a room? They're like, no, you're not 18. So I think that was a roadblock in terms of some of my ambitions, but then eventually got past that. And I think since then COVID came, so a lot of my recordings just became online and whatnot. But I think, yeah, that's one of the cool stories I have.
Great. So you don't have to rent out any hotels or motels any longer.